Hey Pastor Circle, this is Matt, one of the pastoral support team members here with Leaders Following Christ on the Pastor Circles team. I want to take a little bit of time today and continue our conversation a bit from last month. So last month we talked a little bit together about seasons of ministry, specifically the season of winter and what happens in winter during that season. We looked at nature a little bit. We talked about how trees go into a lot of times this dormant state. They do things like protect what's important to prepare for what comes next. I wanted to take a little bit of time this month and let's dig a little deeper into that, because seasons of winter can take some time. And when in the midst of a season of winter, there can be a lot of waiting. And so I thought, why don't we discuss a little bit about waiting in winter together? I want to do that by us taking some time to look at Isaiah 40, verse 31. Let's check it out together. It says, "But they that wait for Jehovah shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." There's a few things that I want us to take a look at in this verse. I'm sure you've heard this verse, maybe even preached it a multitude of times, but I want us to kind of dig in and really look at it together, because for me, most of the time when I think of this verse, it's associated with a poster on the wall of an eagle flying through the air. And it's kind of turned into, I feel like one of those little like Christianese sayings. Wait on the Lord and he'll renew your strength. And then that's what we do. We just kind of move on from there. And we don't really take time to dig and try to figure out what's going on in this verse. So I want to look at it a little bit together. First off, I want us to pay attention to the fact that it says here in verse 31 that when we wait on the Lord, our strength is renewed. Meaning that if we want renewed strength, it requires this season of waiting. Renewed strength doesn't just come because of. Renewed strength comes because we wait. When we wait on the Lord, our strength is renewed. Something else that I learned in studying for this is that the word wait translated can also mean hope. Because waiting in this context isn't just this passive idea. It's active, it's hopeful. When we hope in the Lord, thinking about what is going to happen next, how is God going to move in this situation? How is he going to get us to the next thing? In seasons of winter, when we are waiting and preparing for what's next, we get to hope about what God's going to do next in our lives and in our families and in our ministries. It's more than just sitting twiddling your thumbs, right? I like to think about waiting in these two different aspects of active and passive. So like a passive waiting for me is my kids, when they go practice. My son, he plays basketball. He has basketball practice on a regular basis. And sometimes I just have to sit outside the gym and wait. What does that look like normally? Well, generally, if I'm in my car, I'm going to lean my seat back. I may pull my phone out, scroll through my phone. I may take a nap. It's very passive. There's nothing really taking place as I just kind of sit around and wait. But when my kids were younger, when I think of an active waiting, I think about their preparation for Christmas or a birthday. Especially, let's take birthday, for instance. A birthday coming up for a little kid is not some passive thing. They're going to wake up 30 days before their birthday. Like, you're going to go and wake them up, hey, time to get up. Lean up, eyes wide open. They go, do you know it's only 30 days till my birthday? Right? It's this anticipation. It's this excitement about the birthday. It's this excitement, this hope of what's coming. 15 days. My birthday's in 15 days, 10 days. My birthday's in 10 days. Tomorrow's my birthday. Like, they can barely contain this excitement and this passion for what's to come. See, that's what I think waiting in this context looks like. It's not just sitting around going like, well, when's it going to happen? It's excited about what's about to happen. It's this anticipation building in us to get us ready for what God's about to do. So with that concept, there's three things really quickly I want to run through when it comes to waiting in winter that I think we should make sure is included in that season of waiting. First is remembering what God's done in the past, because sometimes waiting is an intentional moment of just, okay, What's next? And sometimes waiting happens because we've been through a hard season, or we've got a hard season coming up, and we need to be reminded of what God's done in the past, the way that he has walked us through seasons of winter before, the way he has walked us through hard times before, the way he's provided for us in seasons when it's difficult. So I think waiting, first off, needs to include remembering. Waiting also needs to include that expectation. Like I said earlier, your kid waking up, getting excited the closer and closer and closer to that birthday that they get. There should be some expectation, right? Of what God's about to do, of the way he's about to provide, the way that he is growing you to help you produce the fruit in your life to create an abundant harvest around you. And then lastly, waiting should include being present. Waiting is being present, constantly looking for the things in your life that God is starting to shine a light on. As we wait in winter for this next season of growth, and this next season of production, and this next season that brings out like the exciting things in our lives and in our ministries, we should be expecting. We should be looking around. Okay, God, is there certain things in my life that during the season I need to maybe brush off? Okay, awesome. Let me see those. Let me find those. Help me locate those things. Are there certain things in this season of life that I need to be guarding and protecting more than anything else? Let me see those. Help me find those so that I can build up that protection now in anticipation and in this space of being present of God, what are you doing right now? The thing that I want to make sure that we're aware of is that seasons of waiting on the Lord refocuses us and reminds us of who God is and what God has done, thus the remembering, the expectation, and the being present. Because when we wait on the Lord, what does the next part of the verse say? That he will renew our strength. He gives us new strength. Because if we're going to produce fruit in our next season of life, we require strength. We can't do this on our own. You know it, I know it. We can't do this without his help, without his strength. So these seasons of waiting in winter help us renew our strength for that growth. What I want to make sure of, that we are clear in this verse, is that waiting doesn't mean that you've done something wrong, that you're losing, or that you're incorrect. Okay? Everyone needs to wait. Everyone needs seasons of waiting to renew their strength. So if you don't see fruit being produced in your life right now and you realize you're in a waiting season, it doesn't mean you've messed up. It just simply means that you're in that season that God has set aside for you right now. Be intentional about it. In fact, one of our pastors in the pastor circle, Joel, said it this way. He said, waiting time is not wasted time. I love that concept because a lot of times when we feel that we're waiting, we feel like we're missing something, that we're missing out on what could be happening. Like, oh, there's potential right now. I should be going after it. But really, God is saying, whoa, slow down. That potential is not going to renew your strength, but I can. So pastors and leaders, I hope this encourages you to take some time in your winter season to wait, but not a passive sitting around wondering, well, I guess God's going to do something waiting season. No, I want you to be an active waiter. I want you to be intentional with your time, intentional with your attention, being sure to remember what God has done in your past, being sure that you are expecting for what God's going to do next, and that you're being present in this season, knowing, like Joel told us, that waiting time is not wasted time.